Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you guys about the first time I ever sparred. This was back when I was around, well, at least a hard spar. Let's talk about that. Like in a boxing gym with a boxing ring with a coach on each side. Obviously, my coach, his coach. This was back when I was around 16, 15 or 16 years old. I remember this was a gym called Ike and Randy's Boxing Gym in Paterson, New Jersey. If you guys want to look it up, a really grungy place. You definitely get some of the best sparring that you can get, in my opinion, in the entire state. In a place like that, I was going to the gym for several months prior to that, but every time I would ask my coach at the time, which was a man named Wayne, he was Jamaican. I think he was Jamaican. And I remember asking him, "Hey, like, when am I going to spar? When am I going to spar?" And sadly, he kept saying no. I understand now why he kept saying no, but I would say, like I said, I went maybe 4 months already at that point, 3 to 4 months. And would do something like light, never really, not a lot of contact. But I remember asking him, like, "Hey, when are we going to spar?" And then he said, "No, soon, but not yet." And then, then my time came. I was, like I said, 15 or 16 years old. I remember showing up to the gym one day, I think it was like a Thursday. And he was like, "Hey, you keep asking me, you want to spar? You want to spar today?" And I go, "Yeah, no problem." I thought he was gonna give me somebody in my weight class around my height, which at the time, oh my goodness, I was maybe 142 pounds at the time. And here comes this maybe 6'2" Jimmy. I'm 5'11", and he's 6'2", and he was at least 30 years old. So he was significantly older than me, stronger than me. He was like 160 pounds. So if you don't box much, 15 pounds is a big difference when two people don't really know kind of like what they're doing. He was better than me, but he wasn't that good. So, I go in there, I'm already nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like this is not the experience I thought I would have when it came to sparring my first person. So obviously I go in there quiet, like ready to go. Me thinking I hit the bag for like 10 rounds. I'm like, okay, I could do 3 rounds, 3 minutes each, no problem. So then Wayne asked me again, "You sure you want to do 3 minutes, 3 rounds, 3 minutes each?" And I go, yeah, it's not a problem. So next thing you know, we start off. The guy gets ready to spar with me. We put on all our gear, put on headgear, put our mouth guard, put our 16-ounce gloves. They tied our gloves down, obviously, so that there's no flaps. So then we get started. I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? And as I'm thinking, I get hit with the hardest jab that puts my head back like this. And I go, oh my gosh, this was a mistake. I already knew. And I was like, I could barely reach this guy's face because he leans back and he's taller. After that first round, he landed rights. He landed so many jabs on me, like hard jabs. My neck was hurting for probably 2 weeks. A whole 2 weeks it was hurting. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not just gonna give up. However, 2 minutes go by and we're both like, and then he says, "Oh man, you guys are out of shape." So then he puts it back to around amateur minutes. So it's like 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. Second round comes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna do this another 2 times. This is what's going on in my head. I didn't say anything, obviously, but Wayne is telling me, all right, you can't hit his head, because I was missing like too much. Horrible form too, just over the top, dropping the opposite hand. So next thing you know, we're going. He says, "You got to go to the body. You got to go to the body. You got to bring his hands down so you can go up top, and you need to corner him." So at that point, I didn't really know what that meant that much because I just started boxing. However, I knew what go to the body means. So he says, double jab to the head, right to the body. So second round comes, we're like getting started. Again, hits me with the jab, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I say, you know what? I'm already hurting. I'm already getting beat up. I might as well just go for it. So I go double jab right, and I land like flush right on the stomach. And all I hear is, like, he breathes out, and then he starts backing up, and I'm like, oh wow, it actually worked. So next thing you know, I go again. I missed it the second time because he saw it coming, and then he hit me with like a hook. But at that point, my hands were like a little bit higher because I was already like, okay, if I'm gonna get hit, I at least gotta reduce the damage by putting my hands up and just kind of walking in. Remember, keep in mind, I'm also about 15 pounds lighter than him and 15 years younger than him. I barely hit puberty. In either case, third round comes, and I'm like, I'm gonna go all out to the stomach. Let's see what happens. So I hit him with the left hook to the stomach, didn't do that much. Hit him with the right hook to the stomach, didn't do that much. But right when I hit him in the solar plex, so like right in between, right around here, I go again, I really sit into it and I just throw it as hard as I can. I felt my knuckles like push through his stomach. Next thing you know, the guy keels over. He's on his hands and knees. He's just breathing like, or trying to breathe at least. That was by far one of the life-changing moments in my life, to realize that if you just listen to your coach and you got to commit. You take the hits that you need to take to push through. And I ended up knocking the guy out. And that was around, I would say, a minute into the third round. I took a lot of pain for that. The idea in boxing is to hit and not get hit. I was just getting hit, but I was like, I'm gonna hit him harder and better than he hit me, which is a pretty dumb approach, but you could do it. I was never dazed or anything, but I was in pain, all like the back of my neck primarily, my calves too, my hands, my chin a little bit. It was like tender, like I couldn't really open my jaw too much. But that was my first sparring experience. That's definitely not ideal. No one really cared in that gym. If you were in the ring to spar, you were gonna spar hard pretty much 100% of the time. Even if you deliberately tell them, hey, let's go 50%, nobody really cares. Everyone's trying to test themselves as hard as they humanly possibly can. I don't know how the gym is now. Obviously, that was, I'm 33 now, so that was like, 17 years ago or whatever. So that was my first sparring experience. If you sparred before and you have a first sparring experience, drop it down below. I would love to hear your stories. This is not in any way to discourage anyone from doing it. You'll never learn as much about yourself until you get into a fight. You'll learn what you're really made of. And I know most of you guys watching this video are probably those type of people that say, when I see red, bodies drop. It's not. You're gonna see black. You're gonna see black because you're gonna get knocked out. It doesn't matter how aggressive you are. It doesn't matter how much adrenaline you have flowing through your body. I give you 30 seconds and that adrenaline will die out just as fast as it came. Don't be a fool. Don't think you're good at something that you never practiced. That's pretty dumb. It's like me saying, oh, I can change a catalytic converter just out of pure grit. That's the stupidest thing. If you can, you're not just going to be able to do it when the time comes. You need to be able to practice for a long period of time to get good at it. And practice systematically. Don't just practice by showing up and doing whatever. Take it step by step. Learn your footwork first. Learn your defense, then learn your punches. That's the order that you need to learn it at. It's not punches, defense, footwork. It's footwork, defense, punching. Then you'll learn how to inflict the most damage without almost taking any. Also read The Art of War. That easily will help you guys win fights. And just really quick, lesson from that book is strike at what is weak, evade at what is strong. So if a person's stronger than you, don't try to go toe to toe with them. That's the dumbest thing you can do. The point is to win. That's the point, win. That's the number one thing you have to focus on when it comes to boxing. Win, that's it. And the more things you have in your arsenal, then the better off you're gonna be. Surprisingly enough, the easiest thing to learn is the punches. The hardest thing to learn is the footwork and the defense. That's why without defense, there's no fight. It's just a massacre. And that's you getting massacred if you don't know defense. In either case, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, comment down below. Let me know your sparring stories. Be as lengthy as you can. I love hearing those stories from you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Bye.